Hello and welcome. This is a very special episode of PodCurious. It's the first one. I'm your PodCurious host, Ash Tons of Famicom.
Nice.
And I'm joined by the host of What the Famicom podcast.
Absolutely. I'll jump in. I'll say
Yes,
what the Nick is spelling the truthacom. I'm going to bust out some truths about what the Famicom, and I'm going to spell it out there. So that's me.
I'm Dan. This is Dan here. Dan, a.k.a. Nick Tendo. Some people call me on the podcast.
That gets things really confusing, but that's how it happens.
Yeah, it's weird. My nickname is always Nick on the podcast, so no one ever knows who they're talking to.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of DMs come your way where people don't know which one you are. Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
Just to get this out of the way, me and Nick discussed this. We thought it'd be very funny if you were actually tricking us, and during the editing process of all this, you morphed our faces and you photoshopped, or you changed our voices to be really high pitched. And then and then at the very end, you put the episode out, and we were like, "This is genius!" We're not against you doing that. So just to let you know, you have a green light to go ahead and do that.
If you shrank us, made our voices really high, and then lowered the volume,
whatever way you made it. Oh my god,
I would love it.
I feel like this is an idea you talked about on the show about having guests and putting them in the middle of the screen.
That we definitely did.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, we still might do it. I don't know.
Yeah, we still might. Who knows?
Awesome. All right. So if you've not listened to What the Famicom, you've already got kind of a taste of it. Dan and Nick, they host the gaming podcast for people who don't like gaming podcasts. Something about that immediately appealed to me. And when I listened to it, I also just enjoyed the show a lot because it is true. It's unlike any other gaming show. So maybe not, if we're honest, not everybody's cup of tea. But for me, it is high quality tea for me, I guess. So.
High quality tea. I like that term. I almost like to think of it as it's a back and forth where you hate games, you hate the person you're doing it with, and you hate everything about it, but you love it. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah. I mean, another way I really just thought about this is as if say we do an episode about a theme, just say, for example, Zelda. If the theme is Zelda, the artwork is Zelda, and we say we're going to talk about Zelda, we want you to leave the episode with less knowledge about Zelda, but more knowledge about these crazy stories that we've done in our life.
Yeah, things that have happened to Dan in movie theaters. You know what I mean?
I have so many movie theater stories. It's weird.
It does. It's kind of scary.
Just maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but when we really started getting in the groove of it the first couple of years of doing it, because we've been doing it for almost 6 years, I wanted to get to a point where I'm if you're doing something, the best part about doing something different is no one can tell you that you're doing it wrong. So smart. You see so many people doing the exact same thing at gaming podcasts where they'll make an episode about top 10 Mario games and that's all they'll talk about. And they're all G-rated and they'll just say that. I'm just I don't want to do that. So I just I'll take that example and just completely morph it. Mm-hmm. So we did an episode about years ago. We did a Legend of Zelda episode. But we turned it on its head and just talked about the actress Zelda Rubinstein.
Yes.
Who was the actress from Poltergeist. So the whole episode was just about her.
Not false advertising, is it?
Yeah, it's not. No, we didn't lie.
It's not. Technically, that is a Zelda. It's just not the Zelda you think it is from a video game podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think one of the things, at least in my opinion, that makes it work is that you do enjoy video games, at least, or like a lot of us grew up playing them. So you kind of have that knowledge and history and shared hobby, so it's not a complete misdirect or kind of like you said. It is also funny to people who like games because they will get the reference or they'll say I see what you did there kind of thing,
Yeah, I literally play video games every single day of my life. I know Nick a little less so just because it's harder. His life, so he has a little more going on, but I am a gamer and we make fun of gamers. So it's if you can't make fun of yourself, I don't understand what's the point.
Yeah. I think that, and that's, you're not I at least, as a listener, never felt like it's malicious or oh, these guys are losers for doing these kind of shows. I never got that vibe. Maybe that's there. I don't know.
It's kind of
funny. It's all kind of in good fun, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You're just friends having a conversation, and sometimes it's about gaming.
Yeah, I like that.
So let's back up a little bit. Do you guys listen to a lot of different podcasts yourself, or?
I'll let Nick go first for this.
Yeah.
Oh, why'd you gotta let me go first on that one? Because he knows the answer. So generally, no, I don't listen to podcasts almost at all. Isn't that insane? And not I don't even listen to my own podcast. I get in trouble sometimes. Here he is. He's mad. He's secretly mad. He's like, here's the preview of the episode. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot.
Never listens.
My kids got flag football. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I have like previews to the episodes. He's like, I want you to just check through it. Everything look good. And I'm always like this. I'll get to it. And then like he sends me a link to it that expires in 5 days. And the worst feeling in the world is after I get the link, I'm like, I'll get it. I'll get to it. I'll listen to it. Like 6 days go by. I actually have time to click the link. I'm so embarrassed because now I got to be like, shit. If the link's expired, now I have to ask for another link, and he knows I didn't listen to it. So generally, I'm not a podcast guy, and it's not because I don't like podcasts. I don't have a lot of time. I'm cramming in like 3 lifetimes into one, I guess, really overstretching myself. So, but when I do, I'll listen to occasionally my own podcasts. I'll check out like some Lex Friedman podcasts, like some, I don't know, like talking point things, and then a couple of sciencey ones, and then I never stick to it and I never finish them. So that's what I do.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't think I ever listen to more than 2 podcasts at a time, more than maybe max 3. And they're never, aside from one, they're never ever video game podcasts, which is very funny. It's like, you never really, I don't know. Like I found that interesting that like I can't listen to video game podcasts the same way because I'm already doing that.
Yeah.
One that I listened to for years, but they ended or they went on hiatus was one called the Retrograde podcast.
I like them.
And they like were, at least in my mind, like everyone listened to them. They said, I remember one time on their podcast, they said their numbers and I was like, holy crap. Like, and then they went on a hiatus and they were amazing. Like they kind of had the same vibe that we did. They were just 2 dudes that have known each other since like birth.
Yeah.
And they just like crapped on each other the whole time, but also talked more about video games and like did more things like playthroughs. They had guests, like all these things, and they stopped. But like that was the only gaming podcast I listened to. Right now, I think the only other one it's called Die Hard on a Blank. And basically, it's just a movie podcast that talks about different movies that are like Die Hard. So like Speed is Die Hard on a bus.
I see.
So like they find action movies and they implement why it's like Die Hard.
Nice.
So that's the only other podcast I'm listening to right now.
Very cool.
Aside from my own.
Nice.
Somebody is.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's just something I like. Again, I'm curious about podcasters and their podcast habits. I'm not surprised, and I think it's fine. Like if you make a podcast, but you don't really listen to podcasts, like there's nothing wrong with that to me. I know a few shows that I listen to. They've referenced the Retrograde, or sorry, what was it? Retro.
I think they're called Retrograde Podcast.
Yeah. That was like kind of an inspiration for starting their own show. So it is a popular show. So why start What the Famicom? Take me back. Let's.
So weirdly, What the Famicom started as just a meme page, was just an Instagram.
Okay.
It was, I don't know what month, but it was 2018, and I just decided. I think the very first picture was Sonic's face on a picture of Jesus carrying the cross. And it just went from there. It was just fake reviews, Photoshops. And then a year later, I didn't even really listen to podcasts then like that much. And I think I saw like an ad for a company that was like, make a podcast for free. And like, there was a period of time in 2019 where I was like, didn't care about anything. And I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? Whatever. I don't care. So I just did it. And I did a bunch of episodes by myself, and then I just kind of went from there.
Nice.
What was your first episode on? Tell them. Go ahead.
It was
favorite thing.
So my favorite band of all time is Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
Spoiler alert, everyone. If everyone's looking for gifts for Christmas for me, it's Guns N' Roses. So the very first episode was I combined Guns N' Roses and the number of times they showed up in video games.
Yes.
So it was called GNR Gaming, and it was just me by myself, which is like, thinking back, like I haven't done an episode by myself in like over 5 years. I can never do that. I don't know how people do that. But yeah, like then I just combined the 2 things I loved and then just went from there. I took like weird subjects, or not even weird subjects, maybe like subjects that I don't hear too much about, and just kind of rolled from there.
I was just going to say, was I on episode 4 or 5?
You started on like episode one of those, 3, 4, or 5, and you showed up like periodically in the first like 10.
Yeah. And how did you, what was the first one that I was in? Was that was that Soul Reaver one?
It was like, we did a retrospective on Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, because at the time it was the 20th anniversary.
That's right. Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay.
That it was the 20th?
It is crazy. It was 20th anniversary.
Coming up to the 26th anniversary.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What even funnier is he had asked me to do the podcast, and I had most of the podcast equipment because I had a previous podcast with a co-host named Dan. So it just seemed like a natural fit.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It is weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the Guns N' Roses episode, because what I don't remember exactly is how I found out about your show. Mm-hmm. My guess is, and you can maybe keep me honest on this, is I think I was in a Discord that had like share your show or promote your stuff
I
or
was
whatever.
a psycho with that. So if I was ever in any other Discord, those were the only times I participated in other people's Discords.
Yeah.
No offense to those people, but
I do remember it was 2020, toward the end of 2020, because I had gotten a job at Iron Mountain. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah,
it's
the
the other
shredding
side of the
place?
state. Yeah. Dad had shredding place. So it was down in the mine. It was also like a mini little city. Like you'd have to like take a golf cart and like drive around, and there was like traffic lights and like at the time the place was way in the back. So it was like maybe a 20-minute walk or like at least a few minutes drive if you got to drive. So yeah, I walked in a couple times and I remember listening to What the Famicom, and I was like, these guys are fucking really funny.
you said you didn't remember. I was about to ask you what episode, if you recall at all.
Well, I don't remember the first one. I think it was probably a recent one because I know the two of you are on it, but I remember going back and like starting from the beginning. Again, podcast sicko, so I listen to all of them.
I mean, yeah.
And I just remember that like being the running thing of Dan loves Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses, that's all he wants to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's his favorite thing. Legally, he wants to marry it. But
Yeah. And then I messaged the What the Famicom account on Discord to be like, hey, I just found your show. It's really funny. And I was like, man, you guys have really good chemistry. Do you have like an improv background? Like,
What was my response? Is my response like,
you were like, no, not at all. We've just known each other for 30 years.
Yeah, I think that's what does it. He
Yeah.
pushed me into a rose bush. I think that's what happened.
this is true?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like, I was like, these guys, the improv thing was like, they're very good at yes and, like they have a bit and they keep running with it, and it's always like, oh, that was your name in high school or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's,
Sometimes, I mean, yeah, that will just turn into an abyss of whatever joke we think will make the other person like laugh too hard.
Yeah, that's a behind the scene thing. What will make the other person crack? Like it's like trying to make a joke like that maybe no one knows or maybe they do, and I want it to ruin him while he's alive.
Yeah, and that's
while we're recording.
I hope I'm not skipping with this part, but when we do an annual Christmas episode, and I'm sure you're well aware of it, but that's the point of those Christmas episodes. If people haven't picked that up in the last 6 years, which is insane, all these gifts are fake. But the whole idea is we make the fake gifts, but we don't tell the other person, so they can be the most disgusting or absurd video game related gifts, and we're making up details, and I'm explaining it to Nick, and he has no clue any of this until I say it. And so he asked me the price, and I say this wacky price, and I say like, and he asked me when it comes out, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't come out for another 2 years, and that doesn't make sense. So like that's where we like build up. It's like building up the entire year, and then when we get to the Christmas episode, we're like, we're gonna break this person.
Yeah. Like I'll be like, that sounds like it's just murder, and you're like, no, it's this new gift from
No, you can give it to your dad and your brothers.
And I'm like, it really sounds like murder, and you can buy this, and you push the other person.
Target sells it.
Yeah.
so I would call myself probably like the easiest customer because we're the exact same age. I think we all turned 40 this year.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great. You guys are from Philly. I'm from Pittsburgh. So
Similar idea. Yeah.
basically, yeah.
Just you say yins. That's the only difference.
You're right. Exactly.
See, that's it.
and gamer. And like, this was, these are the conversations or thinking of it, whatever, psychologically or whatever. Like, this is what's fun about podcasts is just like listening as if you're talking to a friend or you're sitting, what somebody say the other day, it's like you're sitting next to two people having a conversation at the bar And sometimes you're like, wow, this is hilarious, or this is brilliant, or you're like, do I need to call the police?
Yeah. Like you overhear it, you're like, what did they just say?
What did they just say?
Yeah.
And so I'm like there for the jokes and for the bit and the, like I said, to me, I benefit of the doubt. Like there's no malicious. It's all kind of in good fun. Mm-hmm. So if you're, I guess, like me or like us, then this is definitely the kind of show you'll enjoy. That's probably why honestly, one of my favorite shows is What the Famicom.
Wow.
Again, because it's so different and that just natural, it takes 30, 40 years to develop, but it comes across like you're just having a fun conversation with your friend and making jokes, and that like trying to get them to laugh is a bit of like a secret. Like how do you be funny like on mic? It's like you work with people that you kind of trust in a way, but also like you're just trying to make the other person laugh, and
also I guess
contagious.
You're right. Like being on mic and trying to be funny on mic, you do want to do it with someone you trust, because I've guested independently on other podcasts, but like I can tell, and not that I regret, I guested on like a Transformers podcast and a Guns N' Roses podcast, and I like those dudes, and I just haven't been on them in a while because it's just weird that I've known Nick for 30 some years and I've known these people for 2. So like I have to weirdly reel back my like East Coastness camaraderie, like that kind of thing, like, because I only known him for a year or 2. And like with Nick, I can make fun of his mom to him on his podcast, like
that's true.
Right.
I think there's also that element of the audience is we're talking to them, but we're also talking to them through the other person. Like I said, like you had mentioned, the making the other person laugh. It has to feel like I'm not trying to make the audience laugh. I want them to know that there's comedy going on, though. Like you have to feel that behind the scenes, almost like there's an undercurrent of comedy that's not forced and it's not necessarily performative for the audience. Like it's not like I'm trying to do this to make the audience laugh. Like I really genuinely want to make Dan laugh, which would screw him up, or do you know what I mean? Mess him up. And I think the audience is like, that's goddamn funny. Like that's
like
what they feel.
We want to be in on that. We want to help you mess Dan up.
Yes, exactly. Like the audience is there as part of the, like, I don't know, there's this dynamic where they see him, and if they see him mess up, like it's like, we got him. Yes. Like, I don't know. I love it.
I agree.
Got him, nailed him, we cooked him.
We got him, book it.
Nice. This might be a good segue. Because one of the parts I want to do is talk about some of my favorite parts of the show. Mm-hmm. And so, we talked about the chemistry and some bits. And I was trying to remember, I was thinking about doing this. And I was like, I remember fairly recently, like losing my shit laughing at something. And it was like coming to me in like small doses. I was like, it had something to do with, I think it was Nick's grandma, and she was on life support. But I couldn't remember what was going on in the episode. And so I actually sat down and did some digging. Like, I'm going to find this. Yeah. And so it was kind of similarly one of your hiatuses, not the most recent one before that, I guess.
So the one in last June or July, I believe it was.
Yeah. So you came back, like August. You had taken a break for a few months and came back in August 24. And it was Power Up Yours. And so the bit was you wrote intros for each other.
Oh my God!
In case in case you were a returning listener and weren't familiar, but you wrote it for each other without, again, not seeing it
from the other person.
And then reading it live, and the whole thing is hilarious.
I'm remembering the bit now; it's coming back to me, so I don't read it, but
it's so funny. And it was about banning girls that don't follow me or something. And,
this is what I wrote for Nick.
Yes. Dan's intro for Nick. And then it talked about, I'm also in a band. In my last, I'm going to probably, if I can, put the clip in here for people.
Oh my God, dude. You can't. I don't know why he said that. I'm really sorry, everybody. I didn't even write that.
Wow. When I'm not swimming in a dumpster looking for dinner? Is that what I do? I forgot about that. I also play bass in a band. My most recent gig was when I played for my grandmom while she was still in a coma. I had to unplug a bunch of things from the wall to plug in my amps, but they said she went quick.
That's crazy. I mean, congratulations again on that gig, but that's crazy.
It was just for her, so it was a really weird gig.
Yeah.
my last gig was for my grandma in a coma, and I needed to plug in my amp.
We need to plug in the amp. That's right. Yeah.
Just loosen it.
So I unplugged her machine.
Yeah.
I just can't believe the things that you said that I didn't write.
I know. I feel bad about them, but
I'm very sorry for everyone listening to this.
They told me she went quick.
I needed to plug in, for the gig, apparently.
Oh man. So anyway, so you have some running gags, but it also seems like it's just kind of a grab bag of ideas. And I don't know if you record more that don't make it in the episode, but there's not usually a lot of, there's like running gags or running jokes, but it's kind of just like, let's make intros for each other, or let's find 5 games. I'm trying to think of a recent one. Like if it's today's Mother's Day, and so top famous 5 mothers moms. Yeah, I don't know if you've actually done that. When I thought about it, I was like, oh, they might have done that. Like
may have actually done that.
Top moms in gaming or not.
With those kind of like ideas, like those kind of like, I guess running bits are a little bit. So a running bit like that would be like randomly doing intros for each other. I would love to do that again. Another running bit we do is we made up a word called podcastphilia, which is it's illegal to podcast with someone under the age of 13.
Yeah.
We use it all the time and we think it's hilarious. I don't know why. Usually when it comes to like things throughout the episode, like if it's a topic of the episode, like the Assassin's Creed one, I think I just said to Nick, I'm like, hey, we haven't done an Assassin's Creed episode, right? Like neither one of us really love the series. We played them. Let's do that. And then I forget what made me combine it with Scott Stapp and Creed, but the evolution of, I mean, this could be a whole other episode. The evolution of like why I think of the ideas, like I work in reverse, and Nick always like makes fun of me for this. Like I sometimes make the Photoshop first of the artwork, and I'm like, okay, what can we do with this? I don't care what it's about.
I love that for a lot of reasons, but yeah, because I think you've brought that up on the show. Like there's a lot of kind of like, this is behind the scenes, and this is what I texted you, like coming up, that process to me is also like usually funny.
He would do that. He did that a lot before. And I hit a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to read all his absurd texts to me on the episode so people know what he's saying to me.
And and his like
part of it.
Yeah,
I love that.
Responses.
Reading each other's texts is just my favorite thing to do on the podcast. We'll text all day or whatever, or randomly throughout the day, and then occasionally you get the really ridiculous ones or insane ones, and it's like, oh, I can't wait till we record. I'm just gonna listen back up. I gotta star this one.
I'm gonna star this one.
Yeah. Get that son of a bitch.
So I mentioned the titles. You brought that up where you think of like a pun or play on words. And like that just becomes the topic of usually gaming related.
Yeah.
Which is usually, I don't know if it's still like this, I guess, as much anymore, but it used to be like one segment, like after the second break, you would finally get to, like the Halloween episodes, or let's see here.
So like you're saying, like
Main
after
in the
40
mirror.
minutes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then we talk about the actual gaming stuff. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, in episodes we have recorded that are coming soon, we're starting to meld it a little bit, but it used to be very hardcore where it was like a good chunk of the episode. It was like talking about a kid from grade school. And then we come back and 10 minutes are left in the episode. We're like, oh, so did you play that new Zelda game?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, most podcasts, again, generalized, that's like the first 5 minutes is the like, what's new and what game you've been playing, and then it's like, all right, on to our topic for an hour and a half or whatever. It's like, you guys are like the hour.
We literally reversed that. We turned it upside down.
We did.
Oh man. So let's see here. Let's see if I can find some favorites. Wasty, my age.
You can't even say that one.
WSAD.
I mean, I think I showed that to somebody at the time I made the title. And somebody's like, I don't understand. And I'm like, oh, it's like the keys on a keyboard. And they were like, no, that doesn't. I'm like, oh, man, I've already made all the artwork for it.
That one was pretty good. Let's see here. Press enter the Matrix. Pretty good. Mocap combat.
Oh my God, I love that one.
You've got mail. That's it.
Yeah.
Some of them are thinkers. You got to be like,
Nick actually, I mean, even though I make fun of the ones and I call them out, when Nick sends me, he'll send me like, I don't know, 7 names for an episode. When I say, hey, here's a picture or here's what I want to make it about. And in those 7, even if I don't have one, I'll combine some and then it'll come out as the episode does. So like, even though I make fun of him and he probably doesn't think he's helping, because I don't know if he's purposely making crazy names or what, but I combine
just
them.
to meet the quota.
Wait, these two might work together. Take away that word and this might work. Oh crap. There we go.
Yeah. I generally try and just throw the wildest, weirdest ones I can at him, because Dan's kind of, and I don't know if you've caught this by now, but Dan's essentially the brains of the entire operation, which is crazy to say because I would never call him the brains of anything.
No, I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt. You would never say that about anyone.
But I throw as many random ones as I can at him because I know that it's going to spark something in his tiny brain. Yep, he has a disease, actually. It's much smaller than most people's, but it works normal. It's just smaller.
It's just weird. It's just
it's just chugging it on at 200%. Like
it's incredible. He's a medical marvel. But generally, I throw as many at him as I can, and they're weird because I know that he's gonna like fine tune them or use one or two that he really just keys off on. So
I mean, and I don't ever want you to stop because that really does help with like even when I throw you a name and I think it works and you say like I hate it, it's good. And I'm like, that means it's pretty good.
Yeah. The feedback is generally I hate it between both of us.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like for example, I'm not sure when this episode is getting released of your podcast, but our most recent episode was called Bohemian Rhapsody D-Pad.
Yeah.
And it's the picture of Queen and Bohemian Rhapsody and they're holding game controllers. We don't mention Queen or Bohemian Rhapsody once in the entire episode.
Yeah, like we did.
So like I made the artwork, I made the name, and I'm like, we finished recording, and I just remembered. I was like, oh wow, we don't even say what, we don't say anything.
You've transcended from the whole show is about the goofy idea to
I'm like in
this
the
is
ether
just
now.
the idea.
I'm playing 4-dimensional chess with myself.
And losing or winning. One of you is winning. It's against yourself.
Oh man, they're so good.
Making up the names. Sometimes the artwork, like I'll look at it from a couple years ago, I'll be like, I could have done that better. But like when I hit like a really good, I mean, even a combination of me and Nick, like when we do a really good cover art for an episode and like a name, it feels like bliss. Like, I'm just using this as an example, and the episode was like, I think is a 10 out of 10 also, but like an episode we did 2 years ago was we decided to do a combination of Eyes Wide Shut and Mario Party and see how they're alike. And so the episode was called Eyes Wide Shut. And it was the mask from Eyes Wide Shut. It was like the movie poster, but I added Wario's mustache and hat on it. And I was like, everything about this episode is a 10 out of 10. It needs to hit.
Yeah. And then it was about discrete sex parties that Tom Cruise attended.
And how Mario Party's like that too.
But how like, Mario Party's
sometimes
like
when all of the elements come together, we're like, that episode, that's one of the only ones I can think of right now, but like where everything was firing on all cylinders. I would say like 9 times out of 10, we do that. But like, I just feel like in that moment when I was creating that episode, everything worked in the process of making it work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. It's lightning in a bottle, as they say. There's actually something that I loved about the show that you no longer do. Can you guess what it is?
No. Yeah, I do. The intros,
I sent you the notes. I'm an idiot.
Yeah. That's all right. Well, listen.
I was going to pretend to not know.
See? Yes, I am.
No, because I did enjoy them. They were like, we had to record them separately, right? Because generally when we record and we get into the technicality of it, it's like in a chunk. And then we kind of break it up and Dan will edit different things like the music into it and everything. That was something that we would do towards the end of the episode, depending on if we had to get ready to go.
The episode specific rap songs or like the episode specific songs in general were definitely like a later minute thing. Mm-hmm. So like I would like say our episodes usually come out on a Monday. I would be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday tweaking that and like sending it to him and be like, how's this sound? He's like, oh, that part's a little too high, or and I'd be like, so like even up to Sunday night at some points when I was still doing that, I would be stressed about that part specifically. And like even though they came out like great in the end, like because I loved all of them, they were way too stressful to keep doing.
Yeah, that was kind of my that's what I figured, like knowing a lot of it about the whole process, and just I think that's what I loved about them. Like I know these would take so much time to make, like the auto tuning and the beats and everything.
Oh my god! And then I found like it was. I mean, we could talk about like the technical stuff later, but like I definitely used numerous apps because I had to like get it down to a science to make it quicker, and it still didn't become quicker.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, these must take forever to make.
Yeah.
Like the show, you know, like a lot of podcasts, sometimes they take about as long to produce as they do to record, you know. Not that there's no behind the scenes work, but for something like that I knew that takes time, and I missed it. I'm just sad to say.
Well, maybe
the theme song now is great.
There's going to be occasions where we get something like that. Like I think the most recent one with Sylvester Stallone making an appearance in an episode.
the episode didn't come out yet, dude.
I didn't ruin anything yet. It's just listen.
Don't spoil me. I don't know.
But there's things that I think we can do to incorporate more of that. Like I think what you're touching on is like it's not even podcasts. It's almost like impressions or jokes on jokes and doing fun voices, and do you know what I mean? Like an extra
or something
layer.
else to get lost in, I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
Like something extra to add to the sauce that's different than the rest of the episode.
Yeah,
like an
that's a good
extra
point.
something. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, well, now we have an insider tip, although that'll
Oh
probably
no, you have
come
to hold
out.
this episode until
Yeah, until Dan's lawyers can look over
I
it.
did sign that NDA you sent, so we're all good on that front. Okay, so one of my favorite bits is the fake names you guys come up with each other, or for yourselves, but it has to be like related to the topic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I couldn't think of any, so I spent my precious time of my life today going through your episodes
Intros.
Oh my
and
God.
looking for intros. And I actually, this is kind of my new favorite thing, is Spotify auto translate or whatever transcription or whatever. So I screenshotted them. So I'm going to read just a couple.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see here.
It's funny because even when we recorded the episodes a month ago, people were bringing up jokes from our recent episode and they were like, you said this. And I'm like, so I might even not even remember the things you're breaking off, to be honest.
So these are a couple of the names. So the episode was Y2K Gaming.
Okay.
I think it was games that had 2000 in the title. And so you were Nick Millennium.
Okay. It's pretty good.
And you were Dan 2K.
Oh, that's
Which was
better.
good. Which literally, the next line, Nick says, "That's so good."
Damn, see? It's true. It's a real reaction.
This one was, so the original art is Nick Tendo and Dan Tendo, right? But then it changes.
Yeah.
So this was the Mustachio Brothers, Super Mustachio Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I'm your host, Nick Mustache Hindu. Wait, that's not what it was.
Tendo, probably?
Mustache Tendo. Yeah.
Okay.
Mustache
Yeah.
Tendo.
Kind of weak.
Yeah.
What did Dan
And
come up with then?
Dan Stash. It's just
That's
okay.
terrible. This is worse that time.
How did I flip? How did I go from having a good one to a bad one?
I don't know if these were in order. These were the more recent
okay.
ones, but so this one was the when I'm Nintendo 6. Wait, I gotta get it right.
Oh, when I'm Nintendo 64.
Yeah, when I'm Nintendo 64, and you were Nick Technicolor. Wait, I'm not saying that wrong. I guess
I
it's,
remember that, and I'm like, I don't even understand.
Oh, I guess it's a Nick.
Because we related the Beatles. It was the
maybe I
Beatles
said
and
it in
Nintendo
the Beatles
64.
voice. I'm Nick Technico or something.
Yeah.
That could have been it. Yeah.
Oh, and then I'm. You were just Dan McCartney or Dan Lennon.
That's pretty good, Dan. Yeah.
My one
Oh,
friend.
this one. I
Okay,
think this is the
I'll let
last
you
one. This is the last one I got. Is it was Main in the Mirror. So characters that were just mirror copies or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it was your host Nick Tendo, also known as Kintendo.
Oh, backwards. My name backwards. I got it.
Okay.
I think actually you were first in this one. It was Dan Tendo, aka Nad.
Nat. Yeah. Our reverses.
So anyway, that's always
Somebody
funny.
like last year or maybe 2 years ago, I just remember this comment my friend said. He was like, it was a random episode. He's like, I think you guys might do better if you like didn't always say the Tendo parts. Like he told me to take away the nickname part. I'm like, are you? Nope. First off, are you trying to tell me what to do? Because I'll do it 10 times now more.
Yeah. We could have spent time when the audience is a member and there's two of the audience. It's random people we don't know who we love, and then random people we do know. It's the people he's friends with, like from high school or like that we're still friends with. And sometimes that audience we're targeting. We're actually attacking the people we know.
So just
That's the people we
like
don't
if you know us personally, you better not say one word to me.
Yeah, if you say one word, we will
You'll
put
wind
you
up
on
on the
blast in the
podcast.
episode. You're on the pod. You're going on.
Yeah. I just remembered, this was back earlier when I first had found you. I think this is when I realized like there's something special about the show, and it was just talking about the two of you attacking random people on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
And so this was 5 years ago, first of all.
Help, he's going through the block.
I would be
can't
like
block
an
him.
innocent like mom. I'd be like, who is this guy? He's attacking me. But my name would be What the Famicom, a gaming podcast. I'd be like, my sons are in surgery right now, and this guy's harassing me on Twitter. And Nick would come in and say something. And then normal people would be like, get away from him.
Yeah.
Like they would attack Nick. I'd be like, thank you guys. Like, I'm so scared. Like, does he have a gun? And they'd be like, I don't think so. Like, it would be real. And me and him would be texting like, are these
the whole
people insane?
Crazy? Yeah.
Oh man, I was losing it because it was again so funny. Like, to be like on your side of the joke and hear this interaction and just like, oh, I could so see this happening. Like some just messing with like basically kind of like trolling the trolls or whatever on Twitter.
Or trolling the fake. Well, we're also trolling the fake like white knights of Twitter at the time, like people that are so positive and like so want to. And we were like, you know what, we're gonna show you how stupid you are.
Yeah,
get them all.
And I think it was like somebody said something stupid, like you said, and it was this like if you were in the room together, you'd like back and forth look at each other and be like, oh, this guy is about to get like
He's
fucking roasted.
He's
like,
fucking done for.
Yeah. And it was. So anyway, those were my bits that I came with. It was basically just reading your bits and getting your reactions, because I know that you don't remember most of them, which I wouldn't either. You're like,
yeah, we're like a pitching machine. Just fucking drop the ball and just
keep going. Yeah,
shoot. We don't remember. We don't know where the ball goes.
Well, that's I also like of the last note, because I got to go for yard work that I got to do. But no, it's fine. But another cool thing that when Dan was on hiatus, I think he started like binge listening to the episodes, and it's cool. If you go back 4 years, you don't remember a joke you told in the middle of an episode about the D-pad down, episode. So he will message me and be like, yo, you said the funniest thing about so-and-so that we know. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I even said that. And part of coming back was realizing that it's not that it's a legacy, but it's something that we'll be able to look back on in years, and it will still, I don't know, hold up and be funny, be something that we're not proud of. Like, I don't like my mom, but it's
do you understand that
awesome.
The whole world can hear everything we've ever put out. And I find that like, I think that sometimes glazes over me.
Makes it insane a little bit.
It's a very insane thing.
Yeah. I debated whether I wanted to get into kind of the nuts and bolts of like, what microphone do you use and how long does it take to edit an episode? Like, that stuff is kind of interesting to me, but
I feel like I definitely have the worst answers to those questions, and the people that do like the more serious podcasts probably have the better answers, because I don't know what kind of mic this is. My brother got it for me like 4 years ago, one Christmas, when it was like maybe the end of the first year we were doing things. I'm like, oh, I don't have to talk into my laptop anymore. Thanks. Like, this is great. And I've used the same one. What we record on, we just record Zoom calls. So we do Zoom and I record locally, and I just take the audio from that. Like basically I take the video and I used to not do it this way, but I record the whole video of I edit the whole video of it with the name banner and like the cuts and everything like that. And then when I'm finished the video portion, then I convert it to audio and then put it on Spotify and Apple. I mean, it's only on my end, so we don't have numerous channels. So like Nick doesn't have a channel line for his audio. So if there's something wrong with the audio, knock on wood. Like we're effed. Like we always like test our mics like before we do like a 2 second. I mean, not 2 second, but like a 2 minute testing. Sure. We talk for a couple minutes and then I listen back to the 2 minute conversation. But that's really the only prep we do. And then when I take the audio and video off my laptop and download it to my phone, and then I think I only use like 2 apps to like entirely edit and put like overlays on and stuff like that. I actually, funny enough, I think I just told Nick recently, the one app I've been using for video that I've used for like almost the whole time we podcast, I just had to change last month. So I've been using the same app for like over 5 years, and I just had to change it. And it all looks the same. No one will know the difference, but like it started messing up the video. So yeah.
So technically, I mean, if he's talking to podcasters, they have like 18 different things they can do. They can produce it. They can edit it. Most people like have software that they use on their computer. Dan is literally just like, we are the most bare bones, like technical podcast in the world. I think it adds to our charm. I'd like to think, or not. It's generally just one channel recording. The two of us, our feed just videotaped over Zoom being recorded, and then just winging a prayer. And then Dan will literally work on it on his phone, which I find insane.
Isn't that insane?
It is. Like most people like have software and like producers and like they're using different things to edit things and tweak it. And I honestly think we probably don't have the best sounding podcast in the world. I think everyone would know that, but I don't think we're selling the sound. I don't think we're trying to, I don't know. There's something about it where I let Dan do all that work and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, that's so big of you.
Yeah, that's so nice of you. Thanks for the chat. But yeah, I think if anyone listens to this episode of PodCurious and is a professional person or one of the other podcasts that we
They're
say
having nightmares. They literally are shivering. They just record raw.
They would hate us. They'd be like,
oh my God.
One channel?
What? He doesn't know what microphone he's using? Someone just threw up. Like there's a new guy on a podcast and he just listening went, ugh.
And he just bought a tower and he just bought like a cushion thing for, I don't even know what it's called, whatever you call them, a filter, pop filter.
Yeah, pop filter. Oh my God.
No, I think you're totally right, Nick, that it is the charm, and there was something about keeping it simple that allows all that other stuff we talked about, just the natural kind of conversation and comedy and stuff. Like when you don't have 10 other things you need your brain to be like thinking of.
Yeah.
I think it does help just with the quality, like the stuff that's actually like harder to do. I think like make it funny. Comedy's like not easy, just either consistent or have these, consistent jokes or a show that like is just has this appeal, even though we're not like, it really is that not trying, but it works kind of thing. If that makes sense. Like
I think about this too, where we're obviously, I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea. We're not G rated. We're not even PG-13 rated sometimes, but like, we're not doing it on purpose. It's just how we are. And I've seen people try, sometimes I've seen clips of other podcasts that are like either too G rated or too R rated.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, if you're going that high, it seems like you're trying too hard, but like, if you find a middle ground, obviously I think a lot of the memes that I make are all like 9 times out of 10, they're dad jokes. And then sometimes there'll be a dirty joke. And I'm like, and Nick hates the dad joke ones.
Yeah.
I'll send him. He's like, this doesn't even make sense. And I'm not even a dad and I make them. So like, I try to find a balance where like, we're being ourselves, but also we'll throw out like obscene stuff and we'll talk about, podcastphilia, which is obviously connected to something. So I just feel like it'll show if we're trying too hard, and it'll show even if we were taming it down. If we became like too tame of what we normally do, I think people would notice right away.
Yeah.
So even after 6 years, I don't think we can really change anything we do at this point. So like,
we could theoretically, but I think to the point where maybe back to the technology, when we do it the way we do it, it's a very live feel. We're not like, you can see some podcasts that are super well edited and they edit out like even pauses in there. And there's technology that'll like cut down on like split seconds here and there. And you see a lot of chops, cuts, edits, and it's quick. It's concise. Like, it's nice to receive media that way. And I'm not against that, but it's different than what we do. What we do is all one shot, really. It's all live and it's very raw. And that's what we do. So our back and forth, our banner, our hating each other, our getting info, it's all it has to be strong. It has to be live, and it has to be at 100% while we're going. We can't edit in the fun, the jokes or anything after the fact. Like with us, it's there. If we better have it that day.
Yeah. So like it's or not, it's there. Yeah.
It's like live music that you really can appreciate versus like the greatest pop song that maybe gets produced by someone who's right now. Like, it's going to be produced to perfection, but it's a different thing, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. And again, I think this is kind of articulating why I was so fascinated by the show and, curious about your show, is it has all those things that to me, like, kind of are a goal of podcasting. Like, I like the live performance example because it's similar. There's just a difference between going and seeing a live show and it, being there and experiencing it versus something, that you watch on YouTube or listen on Spotify or whatever. Like, yeah, both have their place. I don't know if this is true or not, but I think most people would argue they would love to be at that like live show level, like to be able to perform live and it be like a killer show. It seems to me in my brain like not the goal, but like
that's what you're like
a higher pursuit.
Yeah,
yeah,
make
like
it more natural.
You
yeah,
can't buy
like
that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like I used to, I can't remember the whole example, so fuck this. I'm going to cut this part out.
Well, I guess like it
Yeah.
also might annoy people that do other podcasts too, is for the most part, like say, for example, if we did an episode about GoldenEye, I had Wikipedia entries up and we had like, I had a website up on my phone, but other than like maybe reading the facts about the game and like maybe our experience, we don't write anything down. Like maybe if there's a story that like I don't remember all the details to, I'll write on a notepad on my phone like Nick shower, like something like keywords that might trigger me. But like we don't write notes down. I know Nick doesn't. So like, what? I'm not even making fun of him. Like,
also, were you going to say Nick shower? Like forget the
No,
shower?
it was just like
it sounded like you were
I
saying
was
Nick
making up
shower.
a scenario,
I think
but,
that was what you were going with, and everyone at home was like, "Wait a minute."
Now he's going to edit this part out, make it seem like Nick doesn't shower. But my point is, like, I think that's another thing that people maybe aspire to do too, where like you can fill like maybe 30 minutes of like whatever knowledge you have, whether it be about the other person, whether it be about the thing you're talking about, or like just stupid stories. Like, I think maybe like one of my relatives asked me like, "How do you talk that long?" Like, I think somebody said like, "How do you talk for like 45 minutes or 50 minutes?" I can never do that. I'm like, I don't know. I just do it. We just like, I don't write anything down. If Nick is telling a story, sometimes that might trigger something that I remembered that happened yesterday or vice versa. And then it might actually segue into GoldenEye at some point.
Sometimes it does. I don't know how that happens, but oftentimes
It's a miracle sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's all I have to say.
Don't edit that out. Leave that.
Yeah. Leave it.
Awesome.
Make it high pitched.
10 stars. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
Sweet. I think maybe one of the only other things I'm kind of curious about, I guess the hiatuses you've taken, you kind of talked about it in as of now, the more recent episode. Like I was actually telling my wife a little bit about you guys before, and I don't know if this is how you put it, but it sounded like you kept thinking about the podcast or people kept talking about it. So you'd taken a looks like 3 or 4 month break.
Well, technically, for anyone that didn't listen or doesn't listen to us, hey, how you doing, by the way? But
40 minutes in. Perfect. See, he did it.
We released an episode on April 28th. And previously, the last time we recorded together, Joe Biden was still president. So like that was the running joke. We realized how far away, like we hadn't really technically recorded anything in like months, because when we recorded that, I edited those episodes and put them out. And we made a clip show, but we made intros to the clip show, but we recorded that intro like, a month or two prior. So I didn't know if anyone realized that, but like we took a good chunk of like, I guess like 4 or 5 months off. But during that time, it's weird because everyone knows I have the podcast. Like everyone knows the name, even if they don't listen, like family, friends, like friends of friends, sometimes even all these exes that I make fun of and then don't have anymore. But whenever I would see people or talk to people afterwards, they would be like, "Oh, it sucks that I heard the podcast is going on hiatus, like blah, blah, blah." And I would hear it every single time. And it was true. And I'm like, I was at a point where I'm like, I don't even know if I genuinely want to keep doing it anymore. Because I don't want it to be the only thing that was like a hobby of mine. And I was trying to think of other things during this 5 months that I could take up, or maybe like how to escape the name With the Famicom in a way, which is like absurd thinking now, because we recorded like 4 episodes last month, like secretly. So we already got back in the groove of things. I already love it again. But it was a weird feeling because I was in a place where I'm like, do I want to keep doing this thing? And I was, we just turned 40 and I was having the wrong mindset. Like I was bullying myself where I'm like, I just turned 40. Do I still want to have a video game podcast? And then I'm back here now and I'm like, yeah, because it's not really a video game podcast.
Yeah.
We've taken, I think in the 6 years we've done this, we've taken 3 hiatuses. One at the end of 2020. one last summer, and then this from January to April.
I'd like to say they're all Dan's fault.
I actually think they were all my call too.
Well, I mean, they would be. I mean, you're the,
Yeah, I guess you can't. Like, what would you do if I said?
Can you imagine if I was like,
hiatus?
no, we're still doing it. What's the edit button? That's what I would say to him. I'd text him. I'd be like, Dan, I need to do the entire episode.
What's the name of the podcast again?
I need to Google it. Where do you log in?
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing because this has been such a chunk of my life for the past 6 years doing this. And now I can't really see myself not doing it until an actual substantial reason makes me stop. Like I physically and I'm unable to. But it's just been with me for so long where, you know, now I'm just back in the groove of like making memes again. Like, cause I went off the grid. Like I wasn't on social media for like 5 months. So I'm back in the groove, like making memes and like making stupid videos and all this stuff. And so I think I was just looking for something else when in reality, I'm like, you should have just stuck with that because you were good at it. You were good at it and you enjoyed doing it and you did it with your best friend. So why are you not doing it? So
I think what happened to him, and not like to be armchair therapist, but like with Dan, he's like doing all that prep work and Dan likes to have that regimen where he's like, we release on Monday, like perfect. Well, we want to do an episode every 2 weeks, 4 weeks. Perfect. Like it gets to the point where because you have a life going on, this isn't your job, that might mount up, become more and more. You're like pushing things on your socials. You're trying to get people to click. You become not obsessed with it, but it becomes more of a job than fun thing. And I think that's what was 100%. Happening for a while.
Think 2 out of the 3 times we took the hiatus, it definitely was burnout.
Yeah.
Burnout is real, folks. So, so that's pretty much it. Yeah.
That's it. Cool. But I guess that, answers the question and what I, figured, because most of the people I imagine coming on this show to talk about it are going to be people doing it just because they want to talk about stuff, or they just want to have a podcast, or maybe they have a Patreon or sponsors or whatever. But for the most part, it's like they're just doing a show because of whatever reason that is, that they want to create something or they want to talk about a thing. Like I want the show to focus on people who have a passion for something, be it video games or not video games. And that is a tricky thing when it starts to take up, I guess, more time than like you kind of, whether you intentionally or not, you kind of balance those scales of like effort and I don't know, worth, or like, was it worth it, or the enjoyment? Like, what am I getting out of it versus what I'm putting into it? And I think that's one of the cool things about podcasting is it can be done in a way where if you're recording with people you like to talk to, talking about things you like to talk about, that effort becomes pretty minimal, or not like you get more out of it than it takes to sit down and record, like the hardest part's like scheduling or whatever. Sometimes
100%.
But if you start doing more with like posting, and if you're actually following metrics and trying to grow, or you want it to be something where you can make money off of, that pressure starts to kind of, I guess, dilute or diminish that sort of like value you're getting out of it. And it can like lead to burnout, like you said.
It's all like your own. It's also like your own goals that you set, even though the goals aren't like extravagant. So if I think episodes are really good and then they don't get the amount of listens that my brain hopes they get, I'm like, well, that episode's a failure. And I get upset about it. I'm like, well, we put our best foot forward in that one. Like, and so if numerous episodes don't do as well, you're just like, well, what am I doing this for? You're doing it because it's fun. And you're doing it so you can make fun of yourself for playing video games. And then like, you kind of have to like, you're battling yourself a little bit in that. And like, listen, the older you get, you're supposed to get more secure with yourself, but like, it doesn't matter. Like you're still at a point where no matter what part of your life you get to, like, you're always going to be fighting yourself about like what things you like, what goals you have, if you're not doing what you think you should be doing. But the reality is like, it's fun. We do it. We've never had an argument about it. We don't not know each other enough where there would be a falling out. Like I've known this guy for like over 30 years. So like, I don't think there would be anything I would do to him or he would do to me where I'd be like, I'm never talking to this piece of shit ever again.
So funny if it happened live though.
Oh my God, it's gonna happen right now.
It's gonna happen right now.
Oh shit.
What a piece of shit.
But like, I think that's another thing. So if like we only knew each other for a year or two and started a podcast and I didn't like the way he was handling things, I could drop him like ton of bricks, you know, like, cause I'd be like, I don't know this. Like,
bag of potatoes. I was waiting for one of your metaphors to come through.
a made up metaphor. Yeah.
Yeah, like a bunch of onion rings. I could
drop them like a bag of Legos.
lettuce. Legos. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like, I think that also helps that like us being so natural with each other and knowing each other for so long, never has it been like when we're inside the podcast, it's never been a chore, if that makes sense.
I agree.
So when you're inside of it, when you're recording it, when you're doing all the fun stuff, it's never been bad.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. And to your point, like, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I mean, you're kind of touching on that. Maybe that could be the name of your first episode. An ash ton of juice to squeeze. I don't know. I got to think. I got to really work that one.
Sounds a little problematic, but it's close.
Yeah, you get canceled.
I'm working it.
I do like it though.
Yeah. No, that's a good way. That's a good, I forgot about that saying, but is that important to you if the juice is worth the squeeze? Like,
totally. Awesome. Well, part of why I wanted to do the show is to, I can ask you guys, okay, how cheesy is this? Like, I want to celebrate podcasts. Like, I mean, I do.
It is cheesy and it's awesome. Like, it can be both.
Yeah, I've never seen a podcast do that.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When I started looking into this, I wondered, like, I think there's plenty of podcasts about how to podcast or whatever, or, you know, the billion YouTube videos on how to make money podcasting, which is like, cool, whatever. But more, I wanted to talk to people who a little bit of like, I don't know. Again, I'm failing for the words, like pat on the back. Like I think the show, there's a lot of awesome things about it and you guys do a great job. And I was happy when it came back. Like that timing was actually a bit serendipitous where like I was starting to think about the show and your show relaunched and I was like, oh man. And then I thought that I was like, oh man, I'm so glad that show's back. Like when I got to drive to work and listen to it.
Yeah. We've had so many people say that when we came back too, which was like a weird feeling, being like, oh my God, I'm so excited back. I'm like, you're excited? We're back? Like, that is weird. Like, that's a weird, I mean, I appreciate the compliment. Obviously, thank you. I appreciate it. But like hearing people say it is a weird thing because of what we talk about on the podcast, of the number of the garbage conversations we have.
Yeah.
It's just a weird thing for people to be like, this is my weekly or bi-weekly listen. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Again, there's lightning bottle, juice squeezing magic, something you guys are doing right.
Yeah.
That really comes across. And again, it's this, I think if I were like telling people how to podcast, like this is where you want to get to. You want it to sound natural. Oh, wow. You want it to be like, you're not even thinking about it. You're just doing it. And it just happens. Like as unhelpful of information that is, like that is, I think, how I would describe it. You know, it just happens and it's then shared and you connect further with other people who, you know, their drive to work is a little maybe less shitty.
Yeah.
To hear about.
Extra shitty if you're the one person we called out in that episode.
Oh my God. If you're the person we doxed,
oh my God.
You might crash your car.
I use that
one person.
Yeah. I use that term dox now because of your show a lot where I had to explain it to somebody like, what the hell does that mean? I was like, I don't know exactly, but it's like
my one friend said his favorite part is when we don't dox people is like that everyone's last name is ... Yeah. That we'll say a first letter and say like D ... So like that. He said
everyone
that's
listening
his favorite
tries to figure out who it is. Yeah.
That's funny. And as like someone who just like didn't know you guys, like it doesn't really dox them because I would have to be a psycho to.
Correct. But
also, that I would.
This is important. So as someone who doesn't know any of the people we know, can you feel us making fun of them? Like, can you feel like you know them? Like you almost like you're like a little bit.
There were a few like that would come up like, yeah, it's been a few years, but
you'd be like, that person was weird for doing that thing.
Yeah. Well, no, and again, it's that like vicariousness or whatever. Like, yes, I knew Andy ... or whatever. Like growing up, I had that KDP ... or whatever. Yeah. Like, so that's like what's so funny about it too is like, oh yeah, I knew that kid. I didn't know that kid, but I knew that kid.
I knew a kid like that. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for talking with me and sharing about the show. I think I might be more curious about things, which is now going to be my new goal. How the hell did they make this show so good? If people want to hear more, what would be the best way for you to have a new listener? Not just like anybody can search the show, but like, what would you be like? Oh, sweet. I don't know. It was a weird question.
So
like,
what would be like sort of like the log line I would give someone?
maybe
No, like where would you want them to go? What would you want them to do?
What's
Yeah,
the best
Follow-
experience?
yeah, what would you want them to do is maybe a good way, because anyone can search and listen. Like that's a given, I guess is what I'm getting at. Like
I would, to
if
be
they haven't
honest,
searched your show by now, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But what else would be a good way?
I don't know, Nick, do you have an answer for this?
And not really. I think it would be awesome if someone seeked out like your Twitter handle or something and then interacted that way. It was like, yo, that was so funny or something. Because Dan will sometimes not interact with you, but he will screenshot it and send it to me and be like, look, more people are talking about this. And it cracks me up so much.
I'm
Or
such a
DM
petty
him.
rat.
Yeah, he will rat you out, which cracks me up. And then join like the Discord and say things. And Dan will he will screenshot you in the Discord and be like, look what they're saying. And I'm like, well, get them, dude, get them. And I love that.
So I guess it is weird because I only have it because we have the podcast, but I think the best way you can like pick up on the vibe and maybe decide like to get like the weird experience of with the Famicom is our TikTok, because like it's all short form, but you can get it from the memes and get it from the short clips, whether like the vibe that we're putting out in a way.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I try to pick the best jokes to make the short clips, because I could be like, well, if you might think this is funny, so if you find this funny, like the links are right there. And the memes are stupid. Sometimes they're dad jokes. Sometimes they're gross jokes. I think it's a 50-50 whether which ones will hit or not. But I feel like TikTok right now is the best place for someone to experience what the Famicom is in short form, to decide whether they would want to join us.
Sure.
Because like there's so much, because we've been on Instagram for like so much longer. So I feel like if someone wanted to find a good thing on Instagram, they'd be scrolling forever. I feel like TikTok has a better interface of like just checking out things right away.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even bring that up, but outside of the show, you do post a lot of, I think, funny, just like jokes, memes. There was like the Smasher Pass thing where you did Smash
Pass, and they're all Smash Brothers.
Yeah, they're all just, they're kind of just like extra jokes, I guess.
Can I tell you something real quick?
Oh,
I don't even think Nick knows this. I put that video on a dating app.
Did you?
Yeah.
Which really?
I put it on Hinge and no one has responded to that.
Of course not. Why would you put it on Hinge?
I don't know. I thought it was good content.
Okay. I mean, good content. Just maybe
But
not
anyway, moving on. But I thought that was very funny. But yeah, like stuff like that. Also TikTok and YouTube shorts. I can make that kind of short form thing. And I'm just starting to pick up on like shorts like from the last like year. But doing those like, I don't know, less than 30-second like bits, I think they're fun, and I just do them in my apartment by myself. And like, I'll just look at like my gaming collection and be like, I'm going to make a bit about that and just do something really quick. I don't know. I'm glad I got back into it. I'm glad like we came out of the hiatus.
Me too.
Last thing I wanted to promote. There is one podcast we don't like. I don't know if it's your favorite. That's totally fine. I would offer to fight Quit the Build. I call them out now for charity, maybe somewhere. Would you?
I never even heard of this.
You never even heard of them?
Oh, you never heard of them? Anyway, if they're so inclined and it's easy for us to get to without travel expenses or having to take off from
Or
work,
if they're going to pay for us to travel to them.
yeah, we'll fight them for charity. So just putting that out there. There's a lot of love in the podcast community, and we're all for that. This is just one that isn't. That's it. I just want to put that out there.
You can keep this in the episode. It's the first time it's ever been revealed.
We reference it all the time.
You've never said their name.
All right.
I'm fucking dead right now. This is amazing.
We love every other
This
podcast.
is great content. Absolutely love it.
All right. Well, hey, Dan, Nick, I do appreciate it. And I love the show
Absolutely.
and hope it keeps going until you're burnt out again. And then you take a break. And
like
then
that.
as long as you come back.
Well,
I'm
we're
fine.
good until, again, I'm not sure when you're releasing this, but we're at least good until the beginning of June.
Wow.
Nice.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. And I don't have an end for my show. So again, I thought I would maybe mimic whoever's the guest. I'll just steal their idea.
Okay.
And so game over.
Well, we tell you, we love you. We hate you. We wish you didn't join in. We wish you joined in all the time. And then generally, game over, folks.
I think in the last one I said game over, game on, and then game over again.
Oh,
so if
okay.
you want to say all those three, that's
That's a lot.
I think you just did.
so game over.
Game over.
Game over, folks.